So a question I feel quite often from prospective entrepreneurs and even those who are well established is simply this: what should I do, right? And it's fascinating because people will talk about the things they're good at, right? The things that have already earned them money, endeavors they're already involved in are highly lucrative, or endeavors that no doubt are probably really good ideals. And ultimately it boils down to what they believe is going to give them fulfillment, right, in terms of what business they should go into. I have discussion time and time again. I had a discussion with a young man recently, really gifted, sharp driven, going through personal challenges, as we all are, despite the perfectly manicured social media accounts. And my gut reactions provide the following advice regarding a couple of things. And the first thing I guess I would share is don't be romantic. I'm not romantic at all, right? I love a great love story and a great success story about passion and the universe conspiring in your favor at every turn, because all of a sudden you have this moment. But the bottom line is, here's the thing. I just simply believe in wise, strategic, and lucrative investments. As an entrepreneur, if it passes the following tests: number one, am I okay with the business endeavor morally? Does it coincide or resonate with my broader business goals? When I reverse engineer it, is it in harmony with my priorities and the things that I'm investing my time in now? The answer is yes, yes, and yes. 90% of the time, I would at the very minimum entertain it, right? But with that being said, I also believe ardently that your pants does need to be on fire about something. You need to be passionate, white burning desire about what it is that you're doing, for a couple reasons. Number one, people don't pay top dollar for mediocre. People don't pay 5-star restaurant money for mediocre burgers. They want great burgers. They want great steaks. They want great theatrical experiences. They want wonderful vacation experiences when they pay top dollar for it. And the bottom line is, look, I enjoy biking, but I'm not willing to wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning to learn about biking. I'm not willing to study the sport. I'm not willing to fashion my body. I'm not willing to go Lance Armstrong to get there, right? I'm not willing to put in 10,000 hours and just completely immerse myself in it. And the bottom line is, you have to be willing to do those things. Be a student of your businesses. Once again, people don't pay for mediocre, right? If you want success in business, it's competition. It's sport. So you have to be willing to be better than the next individual. It just is what it is, right? Now, here's the thing, to kind of put in perspective, right? Because here's the bottom line we need to understand. People will travel miles, right? And they'll pay top dollar to see someone burn, to see someone really get it in and be on fire about something. That's got to be you. And you have to be willing to give people more value than they expect. Not because it's not only a smart business decision, but because, look, you have to be willing to do that because it's a sign that you do it whether you're being paid for it or not, right? People know that. They can feel that. They understand that, right? That you enjoy making them happy or whatever endeavor you're involved in. That resonates with people. There's a rare breed of person that does it for the sport, right? That just, they just love the game. Gary Vee is a perfect example of that, right? But most individuals aren't cut that way. That's just the bottom line. That necessarily doesn't duplicate in the real world. That type of commitment to winning at the game, having that type of competitive spirit. Now, a lot of it's necessary in entrepreneurship and whatever you're doing, but most people just aren't cut like that. The bottom line is, life is going to kick your ass. I don't know any other way to say it, right? I'm not even going to be coquettish about it. And so because of that, you have to have a real spirit of gratitude. And it sounds easier than it is. You have to be gracious, accept the fact that there is no one's responsibility to acknowledge or recognize your values. No one's responsibility to make the sale. There's no one's responsibility to communicate in such a way where you influence people, not to slam doors, not to hang up on you, not to porch you, leave you standing on a porch literally and figuratively. And recognize your talent and skill, right? To not be dismissive of you. It's your responsibility. So the bottom line is, part of the deal is being just as gracious for your failures as you are your successes. They're learning experiences at the end of the day. So you want to learn from experiences. You want to embrace some of those fails, right? You want to learn from them and make the adjustments as swiftly as possible. Also understand that friends are going to disappoint, right? There are times when you're going to have to go at it alone. It is what it is. The people who are closest to you will disappoint you the most, and you got to learn how to discipline your disappointments. Not everyone is able, willing, or ready to make the climb right along with you. And let's be real, some of them aren't even pleased to see you make the ascent. So look, you don't have to necessarily go at it alone. You have to be willing to make new friends, but expect that's part of the deal as well, right? The people who start with you aren't necessarily going to be there at the end. You know, at the end of the day, people are going to die. Not to be callous, but it just happens, right? Your car is going to break down. You may have to work your ass off for 1, 2, 3 months, not get paid 1 red cent, $1, divorce, bankruptcy, family law issues, small, seeming innocuous things that you overlook will rip a black hole in your business, in your budget, and in your life, which is why it's wise to surround yourself with counsel. No more Google decisions. Google is a search engine, it's not a research engine. Get yourself someone with some good business acumen financially when it comes to marketing, IT, legal. Don't skip on these things. Car accidents, bad business partners, trifling employees, and the haters. Look, there are people out there where the only success that they are ever going to experience in life is the little bit they steal off your platter. Just expect it. All these things are going to happen and more. And so that's why passion is so necessary. It's the only way you're really going to get through it all. That's the only way you're going to succeed. Because what I shared right now is just a tip of the iceberg. So, you know, the question I would pose to individuals who are considering entrepreneurship is simply this. What are you passionate about? What do you wake up day and night about? What is constantly on your brain, on that cerebral cortex of yours? I'm not asking you what you're good at. I'm not asking what you think is a good ideal. I'm not asking you what has supposedly worked for you in the past. I'm asking you what you are passionate about, inspired about, where you're willing to give more, go further, go harder than what's expected of you time and time again. Not because it's profitable, because you just desire to do so that much, right? What really moves your spirit? And just start. Start there, whether it be an hour a week, an hour a day. The most important thing is just to take action and start.